The use of technology within human resource management has grown considerably over the last decade. To highlight some of these advancements, SHRM, or Society for Human Resource Management, the world's largest HR membership organization, organized the first ever HR Technology Conference in Mumbai.
Like many other professions, human resource management is becoming increasingly more technology-based. So we must learn more about this technology, on how to use it, but most important, we must learn how to use it to our advantage. This conference is where we start to make sense of all of it. This is where we gain the knowledge, the inspiration, and the tools that will enable us to bring the best technology to practice human resources in our nation.
The event saw participation of more than 500 delegates from over 200 organizations who shared their experiences about various facets of technology and connected with experts and organizations across a wide range of fields. The sessions got underway in earnest with a presentation on why powerful organizations are becoming digital, clear, fluid, and fast.
Make your job about culture. Now, culture itself and organizational culture, if you look at the literature, it's bordering on buzzword status, right? It's one of those things that a lot of people are saying is either the answer or the problem. People say, oh, well, you can't really define it well. I mean, I focus all of my work on culture. And I sincerely believe that this is going to be the single most important opportunity to secure competitive advantage in the next 10 to 15 years. Millennials care a lot about culture. The millennial generation, there are much fewer millennials that say, oh, I'm just doing this for a job. They did a survey about what matters to you in work. Salary was fourth and culture was first, okay? So if you want to be competitive, I think HR specifically needs to make its job about culture. Make its job about, and not just, I'm not talking about putting cool posters on the wall or adding a ping pong table into your break room. Like, I mean really serious, deep work on culture, which, as I said before, is about getting clear on what's valued inside the organization and connecting that to what drives your success. This is very strategic stuff. But you have to actually get clear on what is really valued. Most of my work with clients on culture is spent on getting clear on what's valued, because they'll tell me they have a lovely, beautiful values statement, and it's what they're all about, and everyone can recite it and say, oh yes, we're about innovation and responsiveness and integrity. No, I mean what is valued, what gets people's attention, what gets the resources. We need to know that, and we need to connect it with what drives the success of the enterprise.
Both workforce management and
As the HR function continues to evolve, the landscape of available solutions is becoming increasingly complex. A special session was held to discuss the right system for the organizations.
Cloud computing is not just about giving accessibility to, or enabling greater accessibility. If you're not familiar, cloud systems enable you to access your technology, your software, from any mobile device, from any internet browser. All you have to do is log in. You don't have to download necessarily a system. You're not having to host all of this data on your own servers. It's actually something that your solution provider is managing for you. And the accessibility piece is valuable, right? Because then if I've left the office, I can still do work. I can still run a quick report and see how we're performing on the recruiting team for the day. Are we filling the sales roles that we need? Do we have enough candidates in our pipeline? I can do that from anywhere.
These days we are living in a new era.
Multiple research has shown that modern recruiting techniques such as referral hiring have led to a decrease in trust between employees and employers. Grown-Out CEO Sumit Gupta highlighted the roadblocks faced in referral hiring and launched Grown-Out's technology-based solution that aims to create the next-generation referral hiring solution involving the recruiter, employee, and candidates.
This is a really
An expert-led demo also showcased the world's first cognitive analytics solution designed specifically for HR, which is built on the IBM Watson Analytics platform called IBM Talent Insight.
HR as an industry is something which
people need to focus on, and SHRM brings the right platform for technology vendors, because technology also is an integral part of how HR functions.
I think it's a great platform for people and the technology to merge and bring something better for the world, where they can build great teams and get on with their business.
We are living in a world of a VUCA reality, volatile, uncertain, ambiguous. And I think technology is a big enabler. And how do you marry the two? So do you get the best out of technology without losing the sensitivity and the perspective of people, the art? So it's, to me, the opportunity of getting the science and the art together. And that's really what SHRM Tech 15 is really seeking to do.
The purpose behind is to bring in the best of the technologies available globally, used by all the big companies to make HR more productive and more efficient, yet not forgetting the edge of HR, that is the human aspect of HR.
Yes, technologists are definitely worried about this growing trend of BYOD.
Actually, the driving thought in Cognizant was, how do we get the person moving from a Sunday seamlessly into a Monday?
I think we have to just be cognizant of the environment in which we are applying user experience learning, and while we will strive to be uniform, we will struggle to do that.
The SHRM India HR Tech 2015 conference lived up to its promise of being a dynamic, cutting-edge event for the HR community. This was the first of its kind event in India, which witnessed an assembly of exhibitors, early adopters, champions, entrepreneurs, thought leaders and HR tech bloggers.
Now what you see here is the Fabrics 3D printer that we manufactured, and that's the cheapest printer in India. And the 3D printing technology that you can use in each and every area, like industries, in schools and architectural designs. Whatever it is, you have something in mind, you can design it and you can 3D print it, and you can use that in your day-to-day life.
You know, this particular HRMS product is from hire to retire. It has a lot of modules which are cloud ready and which is based on one technological platform, SharePoint. Now this particular system is device agnostic, as you know, it can work on tab, can work on desktops, and there's a mobile app available through which all the actions can be taken, and business is on the run.
Yeah, you are right.
As the day progressed, the sessions further discussed the mobility challenges as to how one could harness the benefits of the Bring Your Own Device or BYOD movement, yet mitigate IT challenges and the organizational risks linked to it.
So I'm going to first open this conversation by asking you, Smriti, that so many people are talking about bring your own device, the growth of mobiles, and just change of habits in the way that we make friends and the way that we communicate, and the complications.
The interesting construct really is that the Sunday night should merge into Monday morning. So actually the driving thought in Cognizant was, how do we get the person moving from a Sunday seamlessly into a Monday? So that was really the trigger. Give him an environment he's so familiar with and so comfortable with that when he comes to work, he just feels engaged and not sort of saying, I'm out of sorts, because the tools of employment are entirely different.
The whole concept of work-life balance somewhere has vanished, and I'm a big believer of work-life integration. And somewhere through this, when you talk about the Sunday merging into a Monday, people would like to have a seamless experience between their personal life and their professional life, such that they can have a healthy spot on both sides.
Somewhere personal and official life is also getting merged, which may have some sort of consequences we don't really intend to. And as a technologist, tell us a little bit about the possibilities of the good and bad that mobile provides us.
Today, in an environment where we know we switch off the computer and go home, we may switch it on, but our personal life is still segregated out from our official life. With the technology coming into place and into play, obviously these lines are very blurred. So you are actually a 24/7 employee. You're being tracked, you're being monitored with or without your consent.
Shriram, what's your advice to the HR gurus? What should they be reading up on?
I think you have to just be cognizant of the environment in which we are applying user experience learning. And while we will strive to be uniform, we will struggle to do that.
Services come up to the play, whether it be...
In a special talk, LinkedIn's Virginia Sharma said HR leaders needed to play a vital role in helping their companies stay relevant and future-proof. She talked about the growing skills deficit in India as the candidates had started leaving for better opportunities abroad.
Just when you bring people in and you feel good, they leave. Anybody worried about that? Yeah, exactly. Like, why do they leave? Why should I even invest in them? The saddest thing is when people say we shouldn't invest too much in training and learning because they're going to take that and get better jobs somewhere else, right? That's sort of a bad place to be. But when you look at it, you know, the key things that are happening is that talent is moving geography. So this is LinkedIn data that basically shows who's coming into India, but also who's leaving India. So the good news for us is that people moving into India to start a new opportunity are entering into these fields. So we're having mass infusion of skills, right? And not bad, about half as much, but we're seeing an infusion of finance skills, business skills, HR skills coming into the country, right? So these are industries where we can hire from the diaspora and people moving in. But at the same time, we have a large number of people leaving in similar industries in the order of different things. What do you notice over here? You know, you've got, you know, if you're looking for Java developers, well, guess what? We're not a competitive marketplace here. They're leaving, right? They're getting better opportunities elsewhere. So this creates actually a skills deficit in Java development because people are getting better skills. And by the way, you know, the world is getting smaller. People are leaving and moving to other parts of the world where their skills are more valued than they are here.
It happened to me.
Another highlight of the event was a panel discussion on how big data and analytics could help HR professionals make informed decisions about talent management and deliver organizational growth.
Let me share my story. You know, a story where it happened to me, and that's a very good example to explain big data. I was going through this bank website and I was looking at an investment product. So I just looked at the product, clicked on a few product features and details and everything, and then I said, okay, this product sounds interesting to me, let me revisit the website and probably I'll look at it at a later date. The very next day I got an email, you know, which was about that product. And the bank was trying to offer that product to me, saying that, you know, we'll offer this product to you and, you know, these are the features and all of that stuff. So a week down the line, I visited the branch and the relationship manager walked up to me and said, sir, you know, we have these new set of investment products for you. Will you be interested? And the guy was exactly selling me the same product when I had clicked first time on the website, looking at the details of that product. Then again, I forgot about it and I went to the bank's ATM to draw some cash a week down the line. And when I did my passwords and everything, again, I saw this product. I was like totally shocked with the kind of, you know, the push the bank was doing on me. And this is the best example to explain big data.
There is research that proves that companies that use analytics are 4 to 5 times likely to take faster decisions than their peers.
Senior HR professionals from different organizations shared stories of their journey on adapting to new technologies, practices and challenges in supporting business decision-making through HR technology.
You cannot look at technology in HR as a transition of technology. It is not about the latest implementation. It's not about the latest version. It's not about speed. It is, my biggest realization was that it was not about HR at all. And let me demonstrate that to you. How many of you in this room have stood in a bank with a token to pick up money? Wow, that's quite a bit. I didn't expect so many. How do you withdraw money now? Do you even withdraw money? You just transfer, right? Sometimes even if you have a mobile number, you transfer it, and there's a bank that says that if you can do hashtag transfers. So the fundamental difference that's happened is the user experiences technology very, very differently. It's not that you didn't know. Whereas when we started, the only technology that I had was a typewriter at work. And then it became the computer. Now my home laptop is a lot better than the laptop that I use at office. That's the fundamental difference, and you've got to understand it. Now, if you've understood that, and somebody said, Elango, you want to win the race on a donkey. You can't do that, with due respect to donkeys, right? You got to get a racehorse.
Before I worked with GE, I used to work for Ford Motor Company, and that was a time when they were building their first manufacturing plant, in this part of the world, and I was their launch training leader. One of the things we realized was how do we select people? One of the things we did was how do we gauge whether somebody has eye-hand coordination? So it was a very simple one. We went to IIT Madras and told them, we don't need big technology, but we want to figure out if people can actually come and work in a manufacturing plant, or rather, can we have them train up a little better? So they devised a simple thing. There was a sheet of steel, and there was a S-curve on the steel, and then there was a needle that goes through the S-curve, and then there is a XY axis kind of rotating fulcrum. And then each time, and your job was to make sure you took the needle through the S-curve without touching on the sides. And each time you touched it, it gave a beep. And each time there was a beep, there was an error. And each time there is an error, you don't get hired. That was a thing. And then we did that. And those days, we had a collaboration with Mahindra. And Anand Mahindra was visiting the plant, and they asked me to show it. And then I don't know if Mr. Mahindra remembers this or not. He said, "Can I actually use it?" And I said, "Yeah, go ahead and use it." And within 2 seconds, it was beeping. And I told Mr. Mahindra, "You're not hired." I said, "Sorry, you're not hired." And people around me said, "Do you actually say this to him?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine. You say that you're not hired." In my mind, in my journey through HR transformations, either using technology or not using technologies, it's a lot about culture. It's a lot about how do you instill, when do you take ownership and solve a problem.
The event drew to a close with the unveiling of SHRM's Top 25 Indian HR Influencers on Social Media 2014-15 report. With a range of discussion forums, talks, inspirational sessions, one-on-one interactions and demonstrations, the SHRM HR Tech Conference and Exposition served as the perfect platform to showcase the latest developments in human resources in the context of practices, tools, technologies and processes.